We believe the candidates are about to get announced here in just a moment, and we'll pause when that happens to see them come out onto the stage. You see Senator Klobuchar there, Mayor Buttigieg. Let's watch this. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg. These 6 contenders who are about to take their positions at the podium tonight. This is the first time we've seen Mayor Bloomberg on the stage at all. The polling questions around Bloomberg are big black boxes because they reflect the amazing amount of money that he has spent, but this will be the first time he competes in the flesh with these other contenders. We believe the candidates are about to get announced here in just a moment, and we'll pause when that happens to see them come out onto the stage. You see Senator Klobuchar there, Mayor Buttigieg. Let's watch this. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg. These 6 contenders who are about to take their positions at the podium tonight. This is the first time we've seen Mayor Bloomberg on the stage at all. The polling questions around Bloomberg are big black boxes because they reflect the amazing amount of money that he has spent, but this will be the first time he competes in the flesh with these other contenders. Robert Gibbs, let me ask you about the speech that we just heard from the Democratic Party chairman, Tom Perez. Organize, 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 talking about that being the secret to the success of the Democratic Party in terms of lining up a Democratic congressional delegation in that state. Right. But he's saying that's also the key to the Democrats winning in 2020. How do you assess the organizing capability of the Democratic Party right now?
Well, let's hope that they're counting votes on Saturday and not into next week, and I think that will give us some indication. But look, if you look at the campaigns that Harry Reid ran, focused on the early vote, making sure you identify who you need to get out and get them out quickly, mark them off as having voted. And look, this is a great opportunity for the campaigns to hone their messaging and their operations, because as we've talked about this increase in Hispanic vote that is happening now that we haven't seen in 2 90-plus white states, understand too, the 2 biggest prizes on Super Tuesday, California and Texas, are going to have electorates in excess of 30% that are Hispanic. And so understanding how to talk to, energize, activate, and get those voters to the polls is a huge task, Herculean for these candidates, and it's a great proving ground because, as both Harry Reid emphasized, it looks a lot more like America than the first 2 states.
And the Sanders campaign very confident with their standing with voters of color. Do any of you see any particular skill, any particular deftness when it comes to any of these candidates who are on the stage tonight in terms of speaking to Latino and African American voters?
No,
any of them?
No, none.
Are you sure?
No. I want to be abundantly clear. Not at all, under any circumstances, are any of them really good. And most of them have excruciatingly problematic records on certain issues that have to do with black voters. But I would say that Sanders' success with Latinos is in large part because the Latino population is also very young. And a lot of the voting population is young, and he's very popular with young people.
Well, and you've also got a really strong generational divide within African American voters that is not so much true with Latino voters. Where older African American voters, it's not about passion, it's about beating Donald Trump. But for younger Black and Latino voters, Sanders does represent a real movement to them. And it is genuine. It's just that it seems to be a bit age limited. So the question for him is, can he expand this really, passionate, young, multiracial base upward in age to the people who actually are reliable.
Particularly given that even, with the varying turnout numbers that we've seen, it's an older electorate that is turning out. Right. We have not seen a spike in young turnout. Claire, in terms of thinking about how these candidates are looking at each other and sizing each other up, tonight. Is there a way that any of them can succeed without destroying one of the other one? Is there a way that I mean, you've seen Senator Warren try to do that a few times, saying, I'm not going to go after X, Y, or Z. I'm instead going to talk about something we'd all be better at. You saw Tom Steyer do that a few times.
Yeah, you see Elizabeth, and Elizabeth was in the progressive lane, but then she tried to start to get to the middle a little bit and kind of got stuck. And so you've got Bernie over here with the progressive wing, the younger progressive wing, kind of locked down, and everyone else is splitting up everything else. So the irony is they need to get along and coalesce unless Bernie's going to be the nominee. I mean, that's kind of the option here, one or the other. And so I think politics is going to play out like it always does. Whoever's ahead is going to get some incoming. And I think Bloomberg is going to get it because it's his first time out and they want to kill him now. And I think Bernie will get a little incoming tonight.
But this is a huge, huge moment. This really is a moment where each of these campaigns has to say, I have to make my momentum tonight.
Yes.
Because let's be
Every
clear,
single one of them.
Let's be clear, a series of third place finishes isn't going to make you the nominee.
No.
But let's be
That's
clear, neither is a series of second place finishes.
Clearly.
Right? There is one medal winner in this whole thing.
That's right.
And these campaigns each have to go in here with a strategy. How am I going to come out tonight, gaining that momentum, capturing that undecided vote, taking that into South Carolina and on to Super Tuesday? It's a big, big moment.
And Super Tuesday is a lot different this year for a very big reason. It's called California.
Right.
And California moving into Super Tuesday.
California and
changes
Texas
everything.
being
And
on the
Texas
same day is
huge.
unimaginable.
It's a third of all the delegates.
I'd love to see a Texas poll because that also is delegate rich and very, very important. High Latina population.
But if that California poll, now that's not how California is going to end up, but
No.
you have to be at 15% to be viable.
That's right.
If that poll were the outcome, Bernie Sanders would walk away with 416
Right.
pledged delegates that night.
And
Because nobody else is at 15%.
And then game over.
It's game over.
That's, again, there's campaigns tonight that are looking at both sides of this. They can't let Bernie go. They can't let Bloomberg go.
And I think the other thing that's important tonight is I still think these people have an opportunity to sort of sell themselves to the public. I don't buy this narrative that there's this liberal wing and there's this moderate wing. Mike Bloomberg is not a moderate. He's a conservative Democrat now. And I don't think most people really
Or a
believe he's
Rockefeller Republican.
Or a Rockefeller Republican until 15 minutes ago. I think the people who support Mayor Pete, they actually support Mayor Pete. It's not just because they're unhappy with Biden. The people who support Elizabeth Warren, they really still like her. So these people are all working from actual bases of support. No one has become the anti-Bernie candidate yet, and I don't think they should give up and just say, I'm the moderate choice yet. They've still got a group of people passionate about them that they can work for.
Ultimately, what they've all got to be is the anti-Trump candidate.
Right.
And I will say, it is striking to see, we're going to see a fight tonight over whose policy that is roughly in agreement with everybody else's policy is more appropriately means tested to the third decade, Meanwhile, Donald Trump is dismantling the rule of law. And so you will see, that'll also be a contest tonight. And I think Bloomberg has helped focus the field on this in terms of who can turn their fire toward Trump in a way that is going to move Democratic voters.
And are we going to see a candidate that shows empathy, decency, inspiration, right? Bill Clinton and Barack Obama inspired. They need a candidate to get out of the seats for.
The Democratic candidates debate in Las Vegas begins right now.
Let us create the political revolution this country needs.
The stakes could not be higher. We cannot afford to miss the mark or to miss this moment.
I will bring this country together instead of tearing it apart.
I can't do it alone. I need your help to climb that mountain. And together we're going to beat Donald Trump.
2020 is our time to change who makes the rules.
I am running to restore honor to our government and build a country that we can be proud of.
From NBC News, the Democratic presidential debate, live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas. Everything is on the line tonight. We're just 3 days before the critical Nevada caucuses. Here with me on the stage tonight, NBC News political director and moderator of Meet the Press, Chuck Todd. and NBC News Chief White House correspondent and MSNBC anchor Hallie Jackson. Also joining us is Telemundo senior correspondent Vanessa Ock and editor of the Nevada Independent, John Ralston, who has covered Nevada politics for more than 3 decades. The rules are this tonight. Candidates will get 1:15 to answer each question and 45 seconds for follow-ups. Now that the stage is narrowed to 6 candidates, we encourage each of you to directly engage with each other on the issues. So let's get to our first question.